in Boston right now. And she was like, it's really weird to interact with people who are okay because everyone I know is not okay. And if you're like listening to this and you don't live in LA and you're like, why they say these things, this strike is really screwing up everything. I mean, even if you don't work directly in the film industry, the tech industry took a huge dump. I mean, like, it's gnarly right now in Southern California.
My friends that own a restaurant near a studio are struggling hella bad because people aren't going in. Like,
no
I was talking to a friend and I was just like, I'm just looking for a job and da-da-da. And they're like, I don't know anyone that has a job right now. And I'm like,
it's real.
It's so real. But if I were to try to express that to someone that lives not here, they're like, what the hell are you talking? I was talking to you the other day where I was talking to my mom and I was just like very upset about, the employment situation. And like, I love my mom so much, but instead of just being like, bitch, get a grip and go get a job at McDonald's, she was like, have you thought about running away and joining the circus? Like she encouraged like the wrong side of me.
She said, you're so funny.
You're so funny and so beautiful and so talented. Have you given up on this? And I was like, this is when you say go dig ditches.
Yeah, it's hard out here right now. You're hard to find anyone with a job, and also not one thing has become cheaper. In fact, everything is more expensive. And if you're a renter, you better hope that the owner of your building doesn't want to sell it to an even richer person to get kicked out. It's a whole thing. We simply can't get into it though, because it's not that kind of show. So I want to know why you're trash.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, candy is fucking very expensive in Biden's America. Okay.
Thanks, Biden.
Thanks, Biden. I wasn't buying a lot of candy during the Trump administration, so I can't really compare. But I'll tell you what, from Obama to Biden, that candy has gone up. Okay?
Girl, you know what makes me pissed? It makes me pissed. Oh, I should have thrown this out, but honestly, I'm just talking about it now. It makes me pissed that these corporations who are like just absolutely like have big boners for inflation. They love it because they get to charge so much for their products, and that to a point where they're fabricating how bad inflation is. And on top of that, they're also giving us less for more money. So like, it's like you buy the bag of chips and it's only like less than half full, and it's more expensive. Or you buy the can of ginger beer and it was always 12 ounces before, but now it's 10 ounces because they put a big old like, Badussi in the bottom of the bottle. And you're like, whoa. And then no one, I don't expect a Republican to come into office and do anything about this either, but like, in case you're worried that the Trashy podcast was a little too partisan, I don't like that the Democrats aren't doing shit about this either, and that they're like, everyone is just like lemon party sucking and fucking with like all these really rich people. Like, this is like late stage capitalism, disaster capitalism. Everyone, Democrat, Republican, Independent, maybe only the libertarians who live alone in Alaska are the ones who are doing okay, but everyone is getting really, really screwed, and it feels like no one is gonna do anything.
The Alaskan bush people are thriving, except for Snowbird might want to leave and join society. I keep up. I keep up with the Alaskan bush people, but they're the only ones semi-thriving. For sure.
The way that I've just been like, what if we did take all of the money that we have left, which isn't much. It's not much. But what if we did take that and just like, and we all have differences, but like, what if the people in Montana know something we don't?
No, here's the thing. People in Montana they have shirts and bumper stickers that say, Montana sucks. Tell your friends. They don't want us there. They don't want us there at all.
But I am a classically trained...
Absolutely are onto something. And they do not want us there.
I am a Meisner-trained actrice. You think that I can't go to Montana and slap a little bit of that juice on there and be like, oh, hey all, I'm here to buy 15 acres of land because I fucking hate everybody. And they're like, well, where the hell did you come from? And I'm like, wouldn't you like to know? I've been living under the ground. I'm more Montana than you ever wish you were. And then they'll respect me. They will give me my gun. And I will be able to plant food for myself and my husband and my kin. You know, actually, this
You're
hasn't...
going trad wife.
No, I'm not going trad wife. Okay. We share chores. But we haven't talked about this on the podcast. But me and Erica have had some... I consider them serious conversations about how we need to get a compound like this so that we can get pet pigs, because our respective partners don't think that a pet pig is a good idea. And so
fascist? You mean a fascist that we live with and love?
Oh, like I said, like Gatorade is literally taking fluids away from us and charging us more. And that's the world we live in, but I can't have a pet pig? Like, oh, okay, so who do you work for? You know? Yeah. Anyways, so we all go to Montana. Again, just slap it thick, like peanut butter jelly time. Slap on us like that Montana energy. That the only reason they don't know who we are already is because we were that remote before. Smart. And then we get our pigs. We farm. The podcast is over. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Like, we're done.
Well, I mean, what do you expect us to have? Wi-Fi and electricity? No.
The moment we get a pig, this podcast is over.
We're busy. we have the pig to attend to. And what if that's the move? What if, because we could just immigrate to Europe, but like, Europe's only like 30, 40 years behind America with this capitalism stuff.
They don't want us.
And they don't want us even less than Montana people don't want us. Because you have to just be like, oh, I'm from Oklahoma if they do catch us.
They don't even like that. I've talked to these people. I've been with the local. I've been in it. I've been in the Montana wilderness. And by that, I mean like small towns and nice places.
So you haven't?
They hate us.
What even is it? Oh, an Oklahoma problem? Oh, we cannot tell them we're from Los Angeles. But like, if you go like,
they'll murder you on spot. Like, there's a law in Montana. Site. They can just shoot you in the street, dead in the street, if you have California plates.
Yeah. But like, if I go, I'm from Colorado. Do you think that they would like buy it, or they'd be like,
hey, Denver? It better be like remote, like libertarian Colorado.
They said, no, you're not. Your suitcase says Paris, and I'll go, I bought it at Costco.
Paris, Texas. Texas.
It was a Paris brand. Show me your passport, prove it. And then as soon as you pull out the I knew it. You wouldn't have a passport if you were from here.
You're hanging in the town square. Yeah, it's just that's how it is.
Well, where can we go that they like us? We're fucking dying out here. We have no jobs. Please. I feel like there's like
40 people in North Dakota. North Dakota, can we refuge to North Dakota?
Oh, they won't.
We'll start the only Thai restaurant in North Dakota.
Oh my God. Love us. I can't take that controversy.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. We start a Thai restaurant.
I know. They'll be more comfortable that we started it, but it's still not the right thing to do.
All right, here's why I'm trash.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. We got way off.
No, this is on topic. This is on theme.
Good.
So, if you live in Los Angeles, you may have seen recently, I would say in the last 6 months, there is a string of, quote, delivery robots delivering food. Imagine an old-fashioned baby pram, but it's completely closed. It has little poles that stick out the top that have lights, and then it has their name on the side. And these autonomous robots will bring you your Jimmy John's or your, Mexican food in a robot. A robot
Right.
will deliver your food for you. I don't like them. I don't like them one damn bit because I'm like, that's a human's job. 2 of these robots approaching each other. They're like a showdown. One's coming one direction, the other. They're taking up the whole sidewalk at this point. One of them's named Nolan. I didn't get the other's name because you know what? I'm not going to commit it to memory.
They have names?
Oh, they have names on the side of them. Yeah, like I'm Lala, I'm Nolan. And I'm like, don't you dare humanize these robots. So I see him. I'm so mad. I see him crossing each other. And I'm like, are you guys giving each other signals? What do you guys do? I'm like instantly suspicious and furious as soon as I see him. To the point where I yell, you're taking our jobs!
Oh, babe.
Out loud to a robot. And then I'm walking. And then there's a column at this apartment complex that I'm walking, by where I see these robots. There's a scrape on the side of my arm from where I just flat out walk right into this column. Imagine a column and then imagine 15% of me and that thing overlapping and me running into these columns. It's never head on. It's not like I'm Wile E. Coyote. It's like the side angle. It's the ADHD bruises you have on the side of your body because you aren't aware of your frame, and I just run into
you're trying to fight it.
So I'm yelling at these robots in the street, looking like a crazy person. You're taking our jobs, and then I hit a column. I have bruises and scrapes, and I'm like, well, maybe they deserve the job because they haven't run into a column yet. Anyway, it's lunacy. I hate them. I want to stop them every time I see them, but I'm like, I don't want to affect that guy's food. I'm not trying to let you get your cold food delivered. That would be upsetting to me. A human suffered. But I want to know one is empty and then attack it. like a bird scooter, just toss it into the street. Anyway, I'm trash. I'm mad at robots for taking our jobs instead of being mad at the capitalists that are making these robots and putting them into work and taking jobs away from people. I'm mad at the robot itself. That's what they want. They want you to be mad at the smoke and mirrors, not the man behind it. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's why I'm trash. Why are you trash?
You know what? They are all around Melrose and like the Groundlings Theater and stuff. Mm-hmm. And we had a teacher who said very sternly to us, do not kick those. Not because he's pro-robot, but it really felt like he was coming from experience.
Like my foot still hurts. Don't kick him.
Well, I think he just kind of like tapped it like while he was kind of just curious, and it like went berserk. Like the robot was like burr burr, like don't hit, like something like
a laser comes out of the top, and it's just like, we've spotted the suspect. Confirm your name and identity.
Yeah,
good call. Anyway, why are you trash?
Well, I've talked long and, a lot about how I am an absolute nuisance at my nail salon. So, here's the thing. I love this nail salon. I'm not going to stop going. You cannot stop me. But I am curious if it's something about their organic gel that seems to upset me more than like any other nail salon, because I've literally never had this issue anywhere else. So anyways, I was there, and I'm getting my toes done and my nails done at the same time, and the poor girl doing my nails is just like trying to live her life and do my nails, and I start coughing, but I put on a mask this time because I was like, maybe this will like stop my normal trajectory of like this happening to me. It didn't. And in fact, I started to get so much like phlegm and stuff that as I was coughing, my nose was running like bad. But then I was like, I can't. The girl who was doing my toes literally got up and got me a cough drop. And I was like, this is humiliating as per usual. Yeah. And so, but I had a mask on. So I was like, anyone, like, I don't have COVID, but if I did, whatever. But I didn't have COVID. Anyways, So my nose was running like crazy. And I was like, I don't know how to attend to this, because if you've ever had your nails and your feet done at the same time, the tech is sitting on one side of you, and so you either have one hand, like the side that they're on and they're working on it, or you're reaching across yourself with the other hand. Either way, for most of that process, neither hand is like usable. And I was like, they already brought me a cough drop. My feet are in the water, so I can't get up to go to the bathroom to blow my nose or wipe my face off. I don't know what to do. So what I did, which made the most sense to me at the time, I just let my nose continue to run. Because I had a mask on. So I was an absolute snot-nosed bitch. Like a little kid with like a cold. You know, like how like little kids like don't feel like the fact that they've got like boogers running down their face, and you're like, what is up with your kid? How do they not feel that? Yes. You know, that was like my vibe for sure under this mask, was just like absolute filth.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I dealt with it for like, because as soon as she stopped grinding off the gel, the coughing stopped. But it was just like, I couldn't get up. I was trapped. So I sat there for like an hour with just my face. Like if my mask would have just mysteriously fallen off, everyone would have been like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know?
Snot-nosed little customer.
Snot-nosed little bitch. Like the way I removed the mask, because normally when you remove a mask, you like go pop it off an ear, pop it off an ear.
Sure.
I removed it like by clutching my face and like I removed it gently from my ear so it wouldn't fall off. And then I clutched it from my face and I I squeezed and I pulled so that it would wipe and remove all the snot so that no one was the wiser.
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I couldn't believe, I was like, I am filthy. I am disgusting. But also, like, I don't feel like I had any choice.
No, not at that time. You didn't. That's the thing, you didn't.
I'm gonna get my nails done again probably when I'm gonna be out of town next week. And so I'm gonna get them done wherever I'm at, out of town. Mm-hmm. If I do not have a coughing fit,
it's the nail salon.
It's the salon, and that just kills me.
I know it's far away, but you gotta come to my girl. You gotta check out Casey in Koreatown.
It's too far.
I know, but the quality of work. She does good work.
I had another girl that I liked a lot in Toluca Lake, and I would have kept going to her, except that she did my lashes for my wedding, and I didn't like them. And so I was like, I'm just gonna go back to my nail salon that I like. But yeah, I mean, if it's gonna kill me every time I'm in there, what do I do? But I'm starting to get to know their names too. And I know they know me because all I do is go in there and cause ruckus. And they must think that I'm literally sick 365 days of the year.
Well, you know what's pretty sick? Going to live concerts.
Ooh, yeah, I love that. Just kidding. No, I don't.
I do, though.
Like, but you do.
Let's get into our first story. This would be my ideal concert from KTLA.com. Local. Meet Storm, the sneaky puppy who snuck into a Metallica concert. This German Shepherd escaped its home and snuck into the SoFi Stadium, where Taylor Swift, Metallica, Beyonce have all recently played. Who?
Drake?
Yeah, no, I said it. I know what I said.
Wow. AFI? My Chemical Romance? Okay. I wish I wouldn't have spoken up.
No, I liked AFI. The one song, Girls Not Grey. Is that it?
Oh my God.
Don't be bad. All right, we'll talk about this offline.
No,
I'm sorry.
It's fine. You didn't listen to cool music like me. You just listened to hillbilly country, I'm sure.
I was knee deep in it. Anyway,
I'm sorry I called you a hillbilly.
It's a point of pride. I love it. So I'm not being sarcastic. I'm kind of hillbilly. So not a redneck, unfortunately. I'm more hillbilly. But the owners were like, we don't know how she got out. We had checked the cameras. We didn't see anything. But there's footage, photos, videos of just their dog sitting in a chair at the concert. Like, it wasn't on the floor. It was legitimately sitting in a concert seat, like as if she'd bought a ticket. It was like, can I help you? This is my seat.
If you walked in and you saw a dog in your seat, would you say anything?
No, I'd be like, you know what? It's probably had a really rough day. Like chasing rabbits, thinking about squirrels, being mad at, a sound. I'm like, you deserve this. Unwind. Get lost in the music, I think that's what I would do.
I would certainly be like, hey, seatmates around me, does this dog belong to any of you? And if they were like, no, that dog's just been there, I'd be like, all right. And then I would let it fly. If it was like, yeah, I brought my service animal to the concert, I'd be like, get this dog out of my fucking seat.
Yeah, absolutely. That can sit on your lap. Yeah. If it were a Chihuahua or German Shepherd, I'm not saying shit, because those are like attack animals. But if it were like, I don't know, like a golden doodle, I'd be like, excuse me, can I see your ticket stub? I think this might be my, I don't know. I'm polite. I like to be mindful of the people around me. I've never caused an incident on a plane to this day.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm polite.
Well,
that's all.
That definitely brings us into our next story, which is just... I could have done a whole episode on this story,
The entire episode, yeah.
From NBC4.com and also just anywhere.
Everywhere.
A diarrhea incident causes turn of events on a Delta flight.
Okay, guys, y'all, listeners, baby trash cans. A Delta airline flight was bound for Barcelona, and it had to turn around last Friday because of a biohazard situation. It was going Atlanta to Barcelona. It had to return to Atlanta because a passenger took a dump so big. I would die of embarrassment. I've taken some biohazards on a flight. Okay, I'm not proud of that. But if they were like, this is so bad we have to turn around, I don't know. I would jump off the tarmac.
Yeah, I mean... Certainly, this is the moment when you chop off all your hair or dye it blonde. Yeah. Really.
Move to Montana, change your name.
Change your name. I mean, anything you could do. So, okay, so this is what's crazy about it. Because, I've got a regular plain boy in the house. And so he knows a little bit more about the situation than I do. I'm more of a diarrhea expert and he knows more about planes.
It's about balance. You're a perfect couple.
Thank you. But he said that a lot of professionals and people were like, well, the Delta flight did the right thing, because here's the thing. It's not because someone took a mean old bruiser in that tiny ass bathroom on an international flight. Like, it was pouring into the hallways, or I think they were just diarrheaing everywhere.
Yeah, in the aisle.
So that's definitely case for other people to catch whatever is causing this extreme episode of diarrhea. So
I mean, it was everywhere.
When they landed, the ground crew had to rip up the carpets on the plane.
The way I would put myself on the no-fly list, I'd be like, I'm catching a boat to Barcelona moving forward. Did you see the article recently where 2 people were threatened to be put on the no-fly list and kicked off a flight because they refused to sit in vomit-covered airplane seats?
What?
Yes. So I don't remember the airline, but someone in the previous flight had thrown up. The flight attendants had put, paper towels and coffee grounds and things like that on it, but when the people went to sit down, they were like, there's visibly still vomit on this seat. I will not sit down. And the flight attendant's like, it's a full flight. You have to. And they were like, no. And then the pilot was like, I can put you on the no-fly list. And they kicked him off the flight because they refused to sit in vomit. And then they had to rebook their own ticket somewhere else.
Did they take pictures and a video?
It's been floating around the internet. Maybe there's videos, maybe there's pictures. Who can say? But
then I don't believe it.
All right. Well, it's hard to believe our next story, but there's evidence. So let's get into it.
My Tinder date stole my tabbies, but I'm having the last laugh. I just Googled what a tabby was. They're
$900 hooved shoes, and they have a lot of varieties, and this one was a tabby-toed Mary Jane. So this girl and the tabby swiper met up. They connected on Tinder and went on a date, came back to her place, had some sex. But in her photos, one of her photos on said app is a photo of her in these shoes. I mean, these are easily $900 plus, right? And so her Tinder date, that they bump into each other, they exchange messages, they meet for a drink, they talk about fashion, and they hook up at her house, blah, blah, blah. The next morning, he leaves, right? But he says, hey, I want to show you this Spotify playlist, but I don't have Spotify on my phone. Can I have your phone? So, okay, great. She hands him his phone. He's like, I just can't find it. I can't find it. Hands her the phone back, right? What he did in that time was delete his contact information from her phone, wipe the messages, wipe the call log. When she looks up and notices the next morning that said hideous $900 tabby shoes are gone, she goes, obviously, to message him. No contact logs. Then she goes to Tinder. He's unmatched and blocked her. So she went to, the thing that we can do now, the recourse we have, which is TikTok, and was like, this happened to me. And so the next day it finally got to, but he stole them not for him. He stole them for his girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah. And then essentially, it got around the Instagrams, the TikToks, things like that. And then he messaged her and was like, you got me. And he returned the shoes the next day.
I've never wanted something so bad that it was worth having my significant other go and have sex with another person to steal them. I mean, especially because there's like no guarantee. I'm just thinking about this logically, removing emotion. It'd be one thing if it was like, if you have sex with this person, you'll be able to get me these shoes, like no problem, not even like a stolen shoe or a used shoe. I still don't think that's nice to do, but it makes more sense. But this was like, I'm going to get her these used $900 shoes. I don't know how gently or rough they've been used, and I'm going to cheat on you to do it.
Well, I don't think she knew. She dumped him. The girlfriend has now dumped him.
Oh.
Yeah. She's like, oh, what? No, we're good. We're done. But this has been all over social media, and it's kind of made her into like a micro celebrity. People are slut shaming her in her DMs and things like that. But also she has her own fashion brand.
What?
Oh yeah, people are like, oh, you hooked up with him after one time, like you met with them and then hooked up with them, blah, blah, blah.
Way to miss the point.
I know, right? Blame the woman, of course.
Of course.
She has a knitwear fashion brand, and she was just like, how can I, market this thing? How can I make it blow up? And then boom, now she's a micro celebrity and her brand is in the spotlight, which is crazy. So dating in New York sounds like it sucks. Yeah. Anyway. So, but, she's getting the last laugh. Again, the girlfriend dumped him. She's gotten all these brand opportunities. So here it is. There she is.
Speaking of brand opportunities, how about we take a break?
And we're back. What a lovely brand opportunity that was.
You know who could use a rebranding?
The man in our next story.
From NBCnews.com, an FBI agent who was dancing in a Denver bar and did a backflip, causing his gun to go off and shoot someone in the leg. That's the context to this story. Mm-hmm. He pleaded not guilty to second-degree assault, and he won his case.
Yeah, he pled. He did a plea deal to where he accepted third-degree assault, so he avoided jail time. So not guilty, but he just said, hey, instead of second degree, I'll accept third degree. And that's, where he is. But
second degree assault Aggravated assault with intent to cause serious bodily harm. I mean, no, I don't. I think third degree makes more sense.
He was doing a backflip. Have you seen the video?
No, you sent it to me, and actually, like,
okay, it's like 16 seconds. Watch it. He's dancing.
All right, I'm gonna watch the video right now. Okay, let's see. So he's
dancing.
Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, he was like
flip. The gun falls out. When he goes to pick it up, somehow it goes off and shoots someone in the leg.
Yeah, he had the gun like tucked into his pants. And first of all, everyone is giving him a lot of room because he's obviously having his moment.
Yes.
But yeah, he like ran to pick it up and then it shot someone. And everyone in Colorado was like...
So, a guy, he was facing up to 16 years on the second-degree assault charges, but the gentleman that he shot done, therapy, physical therapy, counseling, like, he's like, being in public with law enforcement when they have guns, like, it makes me very uncomfortable. And he's like, this was, I get it. He said, though, I've done stupid things at bars to impress girls, too. So at least he has, like, a good vibe about himself.
Wait, why is it making you feel uncomfortable that he's being paraded around with law enforcement?
No, the gentleman he shot is like, I'm uncomfortable being in public. I'm uncomfortable around law enforcement now, around people with guns, etc. Yeah, the victim in this is like, I'm uncomfortable. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But he said, hey, I've done stupid things at bars to impress girls too. So men still say dab at the end of this.
He's like, hey, all good, bro. You ruined my fucking life, but sick backflip.
Did you get laid? High five. Yeah. Men are weird, man. But I bet not as weird as what they discovered in our next story.
Yeah. So from the dailymail.com, shocked Russian surgeons opened up a man who thought that he had a tumor to find out that he had a fir tree inside of his lung. And you sent me this picture or this article, and I was like, I cannot look at this photo. It's bothering me.
Yes. So medical staff believe that he had somehow inhaled a seed and it sprouted into a small fir tree inside of his lung. Doctors of trash can doctors, dumpster fire surgeons, please write in. Is this possible? This sounds crazy.
Yeah, I don't get how this happened.
I mean, here's the thing. Russia's a weird-ass place. Like,
truly.
I follow several social media accounts that are like, an ordinary day in Russia. And it's like a group of school children with like a bear. And they're all sitting at story time or something. So this is just like a hard to think. But yeah, he said that, he was coughing up blood. And it was probably these tiny pine needles piercing blood vessels and capillaries. So he's just glad it's not cancer.
But like... was this sexual?
No, I don't think so.
Because you can't, if you put something in your butt, it doesn't go into your lungs. But like,
I don't think it was his butt.
Like, he was just having like the best day ever in a meadow and like smelling trees and just like, yes. And then like, this is how the trees repaid him. I don't know. I don't get it.
Nature's not kind, that's all. And neither is the neighbors in this next story.
Okay.
From ABC 7 News, alleged townhome strip club prompts neighbors to call the police, but the host denies any wrongdoing.
What, you don't like naked bodies?
Sorry, prude. That's how we were born. That's how we came into this world.
Some San Jose residents say that their quiet neighborhood has been taken over by what they are calling a strip club, which... what they are calling a strip club is already whatever, but they say loud parties every weekend have been happening for months despite endless calls to 911 and 311, code enforcement, and more. So, is this like, this must be like in a house or something?
Yeah, it's in a neighborhood. So, exotic dancers, alcohol, stacks of ones, fresh promotions. A private party was running in the Camille Circle in San Jose. The neighbors say they heard construction during the middle of the night for months. So it's, that Tom Waits like, what's he building in there? Songs happening, He's like, the neighbors were like, what are they building? I had no idea. So they called the general manager and thought maybe it was them lifting weights because they were like, what could be this sound? they were installing exercise equipment, pole dance boxes, etc. And they found these boxes in the communal garbage. But once construction stopped, the music started.
The one resident said, "It's not Mozart. It's strip club music."
Ma'am, define strip club music, because I've seen a lady dance to Black Velvet. I've seen a lady dance to Get Low. You know, there's all sorts of music you can take your clothes off to.
It's just a matter of imagination. But neighbors say that they found videos from inside the parties by clicking on a map within the Snapchat app. And all of those videos are public, but they were, too explicit to show the news, of course.
Oh. But she says she's been calling for months because of the sound. So, the police would come out and, they were asked, did the police come out for these calls? And the resident's like, I have no idea because we never got any follow-up. And so when they busted the place, they said that they found that there were, the owner was like, I'm not exchanging money. It's private parties for friends and family. His mom, who lived in the home previously, had recently passed away. He doesn't charge money. He said that he doesn't charge money, but the $200 or the $200 for bottles refers to tokens, not dollars. He said the exotic dancers are entertainers, family and friends, not employees. The security guards are his brothers. They work graveyard shift at a nearby nightclub. That if they're outside, it's because they're smoking. So basically he's like, oh no, we're not charging money. These are tokens. What can you change the tokens in for? Who knows? But that's how he's getting around it, I guess. Smart. I don't know.
Basically like, sorry you don't like our parties, but we own this place and this isn't a business.
Yeah. So I guess it's better to be an owner than a renter sometimes.
You can say that again, and I have a feeling
it's better to be an owner than a renter.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I just went like third grade literal on you.
No, that's a funny joke. It was a funny joke.
Nah.
From Fox 4News.com, Dallas apartment evicts tenant, throws belongings in the dumpster, but oopsie doopsie, it was the wrong unit.
A Deep Ellum man says everything him and his daughter own has been thrown to a dumpster after the management of his apartment building said they accidentally ordered maintenance to clean out his rental. Turns out that the management company had the wrong number, and now he's out tens of thousands of dollars. But the building is now coming back and saying, well, you shouldn't have been living here in the first place.
What?
So what they're saying is, he built this life for him and his daughter, his groceries, his clothing, all of his stuff, shower curtains, everything was dumped. But now the building is saying, well, technically your ex-girlfriend's name is on the lease and you have been subletting illegally. And so he's like, no, but like I've paid the rent every month. Like it's me, but she's moved out of state. So they're saying you shouldn't be here anyway.
So they evicted the wrong person, but then instead of being like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, they were like, well, maybe you should have been evicted too.
Well, at first they were saying, oh my gosh, we're so sorry, it's a mistake. We apologize. Let us know if anything's missing. But then they said, actually, because your girlfriend moved out of state, you shouldn't be living here because you're not on the lease directly.
Which, by the way, they put all his stuff in the dumpster and like tons of people just came and like stole it. Well, it's not stealing, I guess, if it's in the dumpster.
I guess so. But yeah, it's so now he's got a lawyer, he's fighting. But they're saying, like, these are the binding rules of the agreement. Like, you don't live here, so we can throw anything, even though they've been cashing his checks. So, anyway, property is theft. Blurb, 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 blurb.
Hey, speaking of theft. Just kidding. But we should probably take another ad break.
Erica, do you have any concerts coming up?
Always. I'm a festival girly, I have to get the VIP, though, because I cannot go without an air-conditioned bathroom.
Okay, well, my sweet angel, planning for faster and efficient hydration is also essential for festivals. And Liquid IV has you covered while you prep before, power through that headliner, and recover after the weekend.
Hey, now don't count yourself out while you're drunk poolside all summer, Cass. Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water water and with 3 times the electrolytes than traditional sports drinks.
I mean, we really have no excuses. Liquid IV is actually standard in my purse. It goes phone, wallet, keys, Liquid IV.
And with flavors like lemon lime, pastique, that's French for watermelon, and my favorite, strawberry lemonade, staying hydrated is easy peasy.
Mama, I'm talking B3. I'm talking B5. I'm talking B6. And I'm screaming from the rooftops, B12.
They've got all the B's.
And there's a little bit of vitamin C in there too, just for kicks.
Oh, she's made from premium ingredients and is free from gluten, dairy, and soy.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, I'm vegan now. I don't know if I've talked about that yet.
We know. Okay. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code TRASHY at checkout.
That's 20% off of anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code TRASHY at liquidiv.com.
Honestly, we're so trashy, we're hydrated.
Wet trash.
All right, and we're back, but it's time for our favorite segment. These are stories that we think, they have some juice, but they're just not enough for us to get into. They're too dark or just too complicated. So let's get started with We Cut That.
We cut that.
And we cut that.
From RollingStone.com, Jimmy Fallon, Tonight Show had a toxic work environment. 80 employees were called and none of them given a positive statement.
Yeesh.
So Jimmy Fallon sucks? Who would have known? We do.
Well, did you? Because here's the thing. Like I had said this prior. I had a vibe, but I didn't know,
I didn't know the workplace was as again, we'll get, if you want to go to read the whole article, it's had 9 showrunners in 9 years.
Oh.
They called 80 former and previous employees, and no one even gave the we support Jimmy. People were like, no comment, but not like a message of support, which is kind of the political Hollywood thing to do.
Yeah.
He's a tyrant. It's like they would be like, oh, it was based on Jimmy's mood, all this stuff. But anyway, read the article, make your own opinions, but I've never heard of some place being like, this is a really toxic environment, and then it being like, actually, it was great. So who knows?
Yeah. Well, I think we learned from Ellen DeGeneres, when there's smoke, there's fire. But hey, you know what? We cut that.
We cut that. From BBC.com, a ritual mass murder was reported in a chapel in St. Leonard's. Turns out it was just a yoga class.
This is people getting a little too trigger happy with 911.
or 999. I think that's what they say in the old UK. 999. But yeah, it's just people in meditation, laying down.
Shavasana, if you will.
Shavasana. That's the Sanskrit. Yeah. And people were like, must be a murder.
I mean, in this person's defense, churches are kind of weird. And so I guess if I walked by a church and everyone was lying on the floor.
Yeah, I might think some Jonestown-esque thing had just taken place.
in yoga clothes on yoga mats.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So I just love that they're like a ritual mass murder. Like the person I feel like has been listening to one too many true crime
100%.
podcasts and now is like everything they see is a crime. But, good on them for calling, because I do not like it when people don't take action.
That's true. I guess it's better than, because what if it would have been? Anyways, we cut that. We have another UK story that we cut.
From the mirror.co.uk. Me dad banned me from his child-free... Sorry.
You sure?
I sound like Mia Goth. Me dad banned me from his child-free wedding. I turned 18 2 days after it.
A teen left distraught when she was uninvited to her own dad's wedding after they decided it was a child-free day, despite turning 18 just 2 days after the big event. Hey, I don't think it was a child-free day. I think it was his child-free day.
Yeah, that stepmom was like, you know who I do not like? Catherine. I'm just assuming her name is Catherine. Yeah,
you can't drink alcohol. You can't come.
Speaking of drinking alcohol, our next story from Fox21News.com. 3-legged bear breaks into Florida home and drinks White Claws. Now, is this just like a really hung gay man?
Ooh, maybe. I forgot how bears worked for a second, because I'm like, because sometimes they walk on their hind legs. So I was like, I was like, whoa, a 3-legged bear? Like, this thing's like a mutant. But then I'm like, oh, bears also crawl. He's probably just missing one of those legs. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
So an arm.
It's
weird.
Like,
yeah, they're all legs, or are there some of them arms if they're in front? Animals are weird. Biology's hard. That's all I know.
it's so hard that we had to cut that. We had to cut.
We don't know enough about bears. I do like that he was just like, you know what? I'm trying to keep the carbs low. I'm just gonna have a White Claw. Thanks. Not a not a Coors Light. Thank you so much. Just a White Claw.
Erica.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well, it's time for the dumpster fire of the week.
Oh my god!
I've covered my eyes in black tar. I have a mohawk today. I'm wearing leather and football gear. For some reason, I'm also wearing 5-inch platform shoes that light up. Baby, it's time to talk about Burning Man.
I look like Kesha.
Oh,
that's all. That's all I got.
Good. That's good.
From Vox and everywhere, truly. If you didn't hear about the diarrhea plane story, like, that's whatever. But I bet you've at least heard that these people who went to Burning Man, they stuck.
So here's the Burning Man.
Are they still out there?
No, it's over today or yesterday or today. But people are leaving. Yeah, they're
they're finally getting out of there. Okay, so she says yesterday or today. We're recording this on Thursday, September 7th. But yes. So by the time you're going to listen to this,
hopefully everyone's left the playa.
Hopefully.
Sorry. Climate change, and Schadenfreude finally caught up to the survivalist cosplayers.
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude. Finally caught up to these survivalist cosplayers. So for its existence, Burning Man, a week-long desert experience that's part utopia performance, part survival quest, drug trip, sex romp. It's dodged serious cultural pushback beyond eye rolls and jokes and things like that. But its fans have zealously proselytized it as the transformative experience of the age. I read a tweet that was like, being trapped at Burning Man is almost as bad as being trapped in a conversation with someone that's been to Burning Man. I wish I could remember the tweeter, but good on you.
It's, I mean, I'm sure you've met Burning Man alum.
Bernie Bros.
Yeah. So I know a few people who have gone to Burning Man actually a lot more people than I'd expect, but some people just absolutely swear by it. Like, it's the same vibe as having someone be like, hey, you should really try mushrooms. It's going to explain to you a lot about who you are. It's like that energy, but then they're also saying, you should try this weekend in the desert where you're basically camping and you have no real resources.
You can't bring money. You can't bring money onto the playa. Everything has to be, if it's brought in, it's an abandoned lake bed. Everything that's brought in has to be brought out. Like, you cannot leave a trace at this thing. And at the end of this week, they burn a man. Like a physical statue of wood or things like that. So it's burning
Shaped like a man.
Shaped like a man.
They don't actually burn like a guy.
No,
that's important to know.
One year, one guy is sacrificed. And that's why. Yeah. So if you don't know someone that's been to Burning Man, you probably do. They're just dead now. So it's a Black Rock city. It's a temporary Nevadan city constructed every year to house these now 80,000 burners. It's absurd. But it started out with kind of like these fringe people, but it's turned into just like a billionaire playground. Like they construct a temporary airport for this so that the billionaires' private planes can be flown in. Such a waste.
Yeah, it's definitely lost. It's kind of like Coachella and how Coachella was taken over by like Kardashians and influencers and stuff to a point where like,
I blame
the average Hudgens. I blame Vanessa Hudgens as well. But the beginning days of Coachella was your average young millennial who went out and camped for 2 days and watched a music festival, and they came back like really dirty and filthy, but it was just like a whole thing. And then all of a sudden rich people and influencers get involved, and then it becomes like a place to be seen, and nobody camps anymore, or some people do, but everyone who's camping is like, wow, you must be really poor. So Burning Man has now become the same thing where it's like, yeah, these tech bro billionaires are like, man, I could really use an experience in humanity since I've lost it all. Yeah, let's build an airport for me to get there. They don't want to sit on the 15 freeway with everybody else. And they certainly don't camp like everybody else either.
Yes, there's you cannot exchange anything for money. You're supposed to be self-sufficient. You can trade. If you come and you just have seashells, that is your offering and bringing to it, so you could trade, water or food or rations or experiences for these seashells, etc. Like,
so annoying. I'm not giving you water for seashells, but that's beyond the point. Can you imagine? We went to fucking Burning Man, and I bought all these jugs of water from Ralph's, and then just some asshole comes up to me, he's like, "Greetings, sister. Some seashells for some water." I'd be like, "Get the fuck!" But this is why I'm not the right audience.
We're not the audience. Yeah, get the F out. You write me a poem. Do you understand me? This is a haiku for water situation only, okay?
Like, what are those seashells? You bought those at fucking Petco. That's supposed to be in the bottom of a fish tank. That's not a real seashell.
So
don't come over here with aquarium marbles and ask for something real.
It's the instification of everything. Like, used to, you would barely hear about Burning Man. You would almost never see photos because it was supposed to be, this is our experience here. Well, like all things, like she said, the influencer and the Instagram photos has just kind of taken it out. Now it's kind of, tickets cost anywhere from $200 to $280. They do have like a low income scholarship for tickets, which I'm going to bleep out this name. Has been to Burning Man.
Of course.
If that means anything to you. Anyway, sorry. You will never know the name we just said, but...
Oh, it checks out, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, she got a scholarship ticket. Anyway, checks all the boxes. But now...
This year she got a scholarship ticket?
No,
like she was...
in the past. Okay. In the past.
Excuse me, I don't even want to give away the gender.
Yeah. This person. So, yeah. It's just like the climate disaster that Burning Man is. But now people are having... Again, this is in the desert. It's supposed to be it's a barren rock lake bed. Now people are having air-conditioned tents with private chefs and like giant tents and forts that goes against everything that this is supposed to be. And essentially, blah, 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 blah. But this year, there were, at the beginning, coming in, there was a climate change protest happening that would block the passage into the space, which led to overly aggressive police action against the protesters. And then there was a dramatic rainfall that blocked the passage out of Burning Man. So now this Black Rock City, who is normally a dry desert, people wearing bandanas to keep the dust and the dirt off of them, is now mud.
Yeah. So I mean, the climate protesters really timed that well, and it does feel a little bit like witchcraft, but it was kind of like, hey, don't go do this. This is bad for the climate. And then Mother Earth was like, oh, they didn't listen to you? All right, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Because this rainfall was like a disaster.
Torrential. It's not set up to handle this at all.
So this was really bad. I mean, one person passed away, and
I believe they were electrocuted working on a generator in the water, is the reports that I've read. So
there's the mud. They got into a situation where, like, because people, if you can believe it, people don't wear shoes at Burning Man very often, but this mud that was being created by this heavy rain and this dried up lake bed, just in general, the desert's not where you want to be during rainstorms.
No.
There's nowhere for the water to go. It floods. But this mud had alkaline in it, alkaline soil. Mm-hmm. And so it was giving people chemical burns, or they were calling it playa foot, if you were to walk in it barefoot. So that's what you see, people walking with trash bags on their feet or all kinds of things just to get through the mud. And now I want to know... Mm-hmm. Okay, well, there's two very famous people who got out, but before I get to them, all the planes that the billionaires took, those were like trapped too, like because they couldn't take off.
Yeah, the runway wasn't suitable.
So all these people, all these billionaires and stuff were stuck too, which is why a lot of people, it kind of generated the same response as that submarine got, where everyone was like, fuck you, basically. It's just another example of these billionaires putting themselves in these situations, and because they're so far removed from society, we are sociologically incapable of feeling empathy for them, and that's okay, and it's not your fault. But Diplo and Chris Rock were some of the famous attendees of Burning Man, and they managed to escape by hitching a ride with strangers who were taking an alternate route out, because the freeway was closed. So, but some people were just like, let's take it through the desert. So this group of people were like, hey, we have a truck. We're going to try to just traverse the desert. Diplo and Chris Rock, would you like to join us? And Diplo posted this TikTok of them in the back of this truck. And I hope it's getting just read to filth, because this TikTok comes out as we're hearing that people are getting chemical burns on their foots. And again,
Ebola was a rumor for quite some time. It's not true, but people were saying that there was an Ebola breakout and they were having to quarantine these 70-something thousand people because of Ebola. It wasn't true, though.
Not everyone who's there is a billionaire. Anyways, so we're watching. So you have to, like, there's some people that you're like, God, you're a fucking idiot for going and doing that. But also like, ugh, I don't want you to die. But anyways, they're in the back of this truck bed, and Chris Rock is cracking jokes because he's Chris Rock and he probably feels like he has to. He's wearing like this really nice, like, New York Knicks
satin bomber jacket.
Satin bomber jacket. And he's literally saying how he is so desperate to get a cold brew, and if he could get a cold brew, he would come.
I just want everyone who was mad at Will Smith to take a look at that. Yeah, sorry.
Who was mad at Will Smith?
When he slapped Chris Rock?
Oh, yeah, totally. It's like the most tone-deaf behavior of, like, completely. You and Diplo have escaped while billionaires are not. There's 70,000 people left behind, and you're saying how bad you want a cold brew. Chris Rock, by the way, I just want to point this out really fast because I think this is important information. Chris Rock is 58 years old, so he is a Gen Xer, but like an older Gen X, like he's borderline a boomer. And so next time that anyone tries to fucking say, oh, millennials are so annoying and, oh, I'm going to die without avocado toast. Chris Rock, who's almost a boomer, said if he doesn't get cold brew, it's going to make him come. Like,
yeah. That goes against just some of the principles of Burning Man, being civic responsibility, radical self-reliance, and communal effort. Why weren't people working together to get Chris Rock a cold brew so he could come?
Yeah, it's just like one of those things where, like, fine, if you want to crack jokes to make everyone else feel more comfortable being around you because you're fucking Chris Rock, and all of that's fine if you have to do that, but maybe go to your friend Diplo and go, hey, do you mind not recording us? Because this might be a bad look. But these people don't think about it because they don't do their own PR. And it's obvious.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the PR group for Diplo and Chris Rock? It was like, he said he would what if he got a cold brew? Come?
Can we suppress the video? Oh, no, it's already been stitched and duetted.
Okay.
And recorded. Okay.
And who recorded? It was Diplo who recorded. Okay.
It was Diplo. Okay.
Okay. And what? And how? So one guy's already dead at Burning Man. Mm-hmm. Oh, all right. And they're saying Ebola.
Do you think we somehow could blame Will Smith in any way for this? No.
Yeah.
No. What about Jada? Yes. Great. Mm-hmm. We're gonna make it. We're gonna spin it and make it about Jada. Great. Thank you so much. Great. Okay. Write the press release.
Great. Ooh, that was a close one. Hey, how about this? What if I also represent Joe Jonas? How about I just get him and his wife to divorce right now? That's what you need to do.
That's great. Thank you so much. That's the kind of creative thinker we need in the room. Do you hear that, Samantha? Do you hear that? That's why she got the promotion. That's why she's no longer an intern, okay? Let's see some effort. That's what I imagine happens in these PR meetings.
I think that we're not too far off. Babe, yeah. I gotta know. What are you hoarding?
Burning Man. It's this delightful festival out in the desert where we just come together with radical self-reliance. Do you know there was a fuck plane at Burning Man this year?
Oh, well, I mean, what else are you going to do with a plane that's stuck in the mud, but fucking it?
I'm going to tell you what I'm hoarding. No, it would take people up in the air so they could join the Mile High Club. You could be in there for like up to an hour and... So
all I have to do is go to Burning Man with a couple seashells and be like, one spin in the fuck plane, please. I brought some shells.
Yeah.
Because that's cheaper than a ticket.
You could participate in the dirty ground orgies at Burning Man, or for just a couple of shells and a haiku, you could be up in the fuck plane. I'm sorry. That's just like all things, that's garbage now. But the thing I'm hoarding...
No, I can't. No, but maybe I should. But I can't. But I should. Were people were still having sex even though they were walking around with trash bags on their feet to avoid chemical burns?
100%.
I guess what else do you do? They had sex in Mad Max.
Yeah, the lawyer that defended Nestle for having slave children workers in the Supreme Court and won was also at Burning Man this year.
Oh God.
But he unsuccessfully this year tried to justify the taking of a woman's house and then making her pay $40,000. Anyway, this guy's garbage, but he was there. But he was explaining you should put trash bags and then socks and then, like these layers for how you should prep your feet. And all of these soldiers, like who have fought in trenches, were like, that's how you're going to get trench foot. Like, absolutely, do not do this. This is what you need to do. Like, this is, change your socks, do this, do that. But do not put trash bags on them first. Anyway.
That is so upsetting to know the details of the specifics on who was there. Because, again, I have to say this again. There are normal people who go to Burning Man. So
you never know.
Well, I mean, I know some people who, I don't know if they were there this year, but I know people who have been. So I know that there are good-hearted weirdo hippies out there that are pleasant, enough. And so it's like, you don't want, it just goes back and forth because I also like the guy who defended Nestle and was the defense lawyer for someone who's using slave labor. Like, fuck that guy, It's tough. It's really tough.
So hard.
But, I am not God, so please just tell me what you're hoarding.
One day, we'll perform at Burning Man, and then who will be laughing now?
You gonna bleep it out again?
Of course. Sorry. All right.
I love it. It's so
I am funny. Hoarding.
I like secrets.
I do too. Secrets. Anyway, if you Venmo us each $100, we'll say the name. Anyway.
Yep. To you only.
To you only, and you can't say anything. All right. The thing I'm hoarding, the thing I want, the thing I would bring to Burning Man to trade as my commerce.
Yep.
Peanut butter M&Ms.
Woo-hoo!
They're just so good. I snuck some into the movie theater on Monday. Oh, guess what? I don't know if I talked about going to Universal Studios Cinema on the wrong day to see a movie, Oppenheimer, in IMAX. Guess what? Happened again. We showed up on the wrong day a second time, but we were thankfully able to swap our tickets twice.
I gotta ask you something, because you did tell me about that. Do you have an email address?
I didn't purchase I'm not going to say who purchased the tickets, which one of us in our relationship purchased the tickets and had the calendar
just said that
event.
You didn't.
Well, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name names.
Okay.
So one of the two of us.
Understand. I told Taylor about this, and he said, "Isn't it on the ticket?" And he was cooking, and he was like, he pushed his spatula into the pan. He said, "Frustrating," because we both did not understand how you guys did this twice.
Again, one of us purchased tickets. One of us was a passenger.
There's too much trust in your relationship. You need to check the other person's work.
I gotta but I snuck some peanut butter M&Ms in my bag. Oh, they're so good. I went to 7-Eleven the other day. I went to buy them. Babe, a sharing size of peanut butter M&Ms are $3.50 at a 7-Eleven. Now, they did have a deal, or if you got a second pack, it was just $1 extra. But I'm sorry, $4.50 for 2 share packs of peanut butter M&Ms? Biden, get the economy going. What's happening? Anyway, I'm loving them. I love a peanut butter M&M. This isn't policy, but like, goddamn, candy's so expensive. Anyway, what are you hoarding?
Who owns? Okay, M&M is owned by
Mars.
Mars, so that's not Nestle. But I'm going to assume child labor nonetheless, and so you are promoting child labor. And that is a shame. Speaking of child labor, I'm hoarding, I actually don't know that, but they are destroying the rainforest. Oh, we can't spend our money anywhere clean. We gotta make Montana happen. But I'm hoarding, in the meantime, the Scub storage boxes from IKEA.
Scub? Which ones are those?
SKUBB. They're like these, I don't know, like fabric canvas pop-up.
I love those. I love those
boxes.
I have, yes.
They slide under the bed.
Them. Yes.
Yeah. We just got some of those so that we could really get our lives together in this house. And I think this is going to be the thing that's going to change us, and really make us...
It's going to make the difference.
Better people. Yeah. But they're great. And, like, gone are the days of just shoving a bunch of shit under your bed and then it gets all covered in dust and dog hair. Because now we have the Scub storage solutions from IKEA. Yeah. I know I've been hoarding a lot of IKEA lately.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I've been shopping at IKEA a lot lately.
There's a lady and she had her TikTok and she's talking about how, her life had been so disorganized and the things she's doing to fix it. And she's like, listen, I know this number's going to sound insane to everyone. And it is. But the quality of life I've had since I've had this done, she said she had 8 professional organizers from one company come out and do 7 hours of late work on her home. And just, that means boxes, organizing, sifting through stuff, doing all of this stuff. She's like, listen, it cost me $5,000. And she's like, that sounds like an insane number, but the quality of life I've had since I've had that done, and then the systems put in place by that, have changed her life. And I was like, I've worked with a professional organizer before, and it's truly incredible. I don't have that kind of money, but just piecemeal here and there, it really is magical. Anyway, love a Scub. I'm throwing away when you see a trash can and it's full. And then people start doing a Jenga-like stacking of trash on top of that trash can and shoving things in where they think, oh, there's a little tiny hole. Babe, that trash can's full. We go to the next trash can or we hold on to our trash. You don't just continue. And then the stacking of the trash gets too tall and then it falls on the floor or the ground, defeating the purpose of a trash can. Sometimes trash cans are full. Don't stack your shit like that. It's just so tacky. Anyway, I hate it. What are you throwing away?
I'm throwing away... Hey, if you're going to Costco and you want to capitalize on a rotisserie chicken, that's fine. But if you are like planning on buying enough to feed your entire family, then you don't show up at the end of the day at the busiest time of day at Costco. Because what I observed... And this doesn't even affect me because I wasn't even getting a rotisserie chicken, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the attitude. You have people who are standing, like crowding the area of the rotisserie chicken, and then the Costco employees they're winging out chickens as fast as they can, and then people will take 4. And it's like, look around you. A lot of people are waiting for these chickens. How dare you just take 4? That's crazy to me. It's super rude. I don't like it. I understand it's $5 and it's a really great way to feed a family and et cetera, et cetera. But also, like, have some couth, buy some frozen chicken, and if you need to do, I don't know. Like, I want to think that this is justified, of like, this is how I can feed my family for $20 and I'm having a really hard time. But I just wasn't getting that energy from the people who were doing this. I was getting the energy from these people of like, I'm a selfish prick. I don't want to have to come back here, so I'm going to grab 4 fucking chickens because they're a hot commodity. It was giving like buying too much toilet paper right before the pandemic. Yeah. That was the vibe. I didn't like it. I don't think it's nice. I think it's rude. Because then you have a moment where people are literally shoving each other out of the way to get a chicken because everyone suddenly needs fucking 4. So I don't like that. And I'm throwing that out.
Love it. Love it. Well, I mean, we know we can find a chicken at Costco, but Cassandra, where can the people find you?
On the Trashy Trashy podcast. I don't even know why I answer this question anymore. I've gone dark. But where can people find you?
They can find me at Iconic Erica Curry on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Blue Sky. You find me. You can find me. I'm the only aspiring icon on the internet, so find me. And
Yeah.
you can, as always, find this podcast on all of those said mentioned Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky at Trashy Trashy Pod. And you can find us online at trashytrashypodcast.com. That will have links to all of our social platforms, any way to listen, a link to our merch store, even a button where you hit send trash. You can email us from the website directly or at our Gmail, which is trashytrashypodcast@gmail.com. Tell us why you're trash. Send in a story. We always love and appreciate when you do. We are the #1 source of trashy news on the internet. Our merch store is trashytrashypodcast.threadless.com. Hey, Cass.
What's going on, girl?
Stay garbage.
You stay garbage, girl.
I will. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.